Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll. I'm your host, David Tear, where I've been featuring my personal top 3,000 songs of all time from 1954 to 1999. Today, I'm up to song number 2849, and that one is One More Night by Phil Collins. This was released in 1985, went to number one. It was also released on his number one album entitled No Jacket Required, released the same year. And Phil Collins was a very, very successful British artist. He was born in London in 1951, and he was successful not only as a solo artist, but also as a member of a very big band called Genesis. Here's another picture of Phil Collins, but he was a member of this band here called Genesis. They got started in 1970, and he was one of the founding members along with Peter Gabriel and several other members. I don't know all their names, but I believe that's Phil Collins, second from the left on top, and that looks like Peter Gabriel below him wearing makeup. Peter Gabriel was a little strange, but he was another really excellent musician. I have a few of his songs on my list too, as well as several by Genesis and several more by Phil Collins. But anyway, Peter Gabriel quit the band in '75, and I guess Phil Collins became the lead singer after that, and he was with him until 1996. But not, while he was with him, he was also a solo performer, which is pretty amazing. And he had an amazing solo career. I mean, I'll just go through some of his hits. He had dozens of top 40 hits, both in the United States and in the United Kingdom. And his first big hit in 1981 was called "In the Air Tonight." I believe that went to number two in England, only went to number 19 in the United States. But then he gradually became more popular in the USA. Later in '81, he had "I Missed Again." And then in '82, he had a version of the Supremes classic "You Can't Hurry Love." That one went to number one in England, interestingly. It only went to number seven in the United States. But that was a remake of a song by the Supremes that went to number one in 1966. And later in '82, he had "I Don't Care Anymore." I don't think that was even released as a single in the UK, but it just barely made the top 40 in the USA. Went to number 39. Then he started hitting. He had a number of I think he had a total of seven number one songs in the United States, starting in 1984. His first number one was called "Against All Odds." That was featured in a movie. I never saw the movie, but I remember when the song was popular. It was very popular, both the song and the video. Kind of a cool video, I thought. And then what else did he have? He had a duet with Philip Bailey called "Easy Lover," which went to number one in the UK, number two in the USA. Interestingly, his next hit was the other way around. 1985, he had a hit called "Sussudio." I believe that was also featured on No Jacket Required, and that one went to number two in the UK and number one in the USA. And then he had the song I'm featuring today, "One More Night," which went to number four in the UK, number one in the USA. He had another hit called "Don't Lose My Number." I don't think that was a hit in England, but did reach number four in the USA. He also had a hit called "Take Me Home." I remember this one. Kind of interesting because "Take Me Home." I remember the video. They shot the video in all these big cities all over the world. He must have spent a fortune making that video. They shot it in New York and London and Tokyo and Paris and Hong Kong, I think. Pretty amazing. And there's another interesting fact about him. He was at USA for Africa, and I believe he was the only artist that appeared on two continents for USA for Africa because they shot it live both in London and in New York City, I believe. And he went to both places to to perform in USA for Africa. I guess he didn't mind traveling overseas. But anyway, what else did he have? Oh, he had another number one, the end of '85, called "Separate Lives." That was a duet with Marilyn Martin. That was featured in the film White Nights, which wasn't a really good movie, but I do remember the song. '88, he had a version of "A Groovy Kind of Love," a slow version This was a hit from the '60s by who was it? The Mindbenders. I greatly prefer the Mindbenders version of this song. It's kind of funny. I think he did a good version of "You Can't Hurry Love." I think that was kind of true to the spirit of Motown, but this version of a groovy kind of love, I think he just botched that one up. He made it really slow. And groovy wasn't even a catchphrase anymore in the '80s, so I don't know what was with that one. But then later he had a number one called Two Hearts. And then his last number one in '89 was called Another Day in Paradise. And I have an interesting tidbit about this song. Uh, my best friend, I think they played this song at his senior prom, and he was listening to it on the radio one day, and I was explaining to him about this song. He just thought it was a nice love ballad. And I guess he had a lot of nostalgia for the song because he might have even fallen in love when he was listening to it. But then I explained to him that this song was about homelessness, around the world. Because I remember the video; they had all these figures about how many people were homelessness, didn't have adequate shelter or adequate food all over the world. It was about poverty and homelessness. I explained this to my friend, and he got so pissed, and I just feel bad because I think I kind of broke his heart explaining what this song was really about. I guess sometimes people are better off not knowing the truth. But anyway, that's my profile on One More Night by Phil Collins. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys rock. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.